they wander alone. Old ruins where fears have grown. Zombies watch from ancient stone. Whispers chill right to the bone. Gothic castles rise in the night. Gory entrails glide out of sight. Wolves howling under pale moonlight. Darkness creeps and grabs too tight. You have fallen into the EuroCrypt. There is no escape from this EuroCrypt. Bava, Argento and more. Black love killers and goblins score. Vampires haunt their nightly feast. Lurking monsters are released. But beyond screen in a sepia dream. Melancholy miles downstream. No one's safe, or so it seems. Worlds unravel at the seams. You have fallen into the EuroCrypt. There is no escape from this EuroCrypt.
All right, man.
Hey, what's up, guys?
We back up in there like swimwear. This is the EuroCrypt episode 5, covering some Mario Bava, Gothic shockers of Mario Bava. 3 bangers from the man.
Yes,
And,
yes.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
man. And we got Dan Shine, man, from Flesh Wound Features. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. I'm glad to be on this show. I think arguably Mario Bava's the greatest horror director ever, so you can't go wrong.
Yeah, arguably, for sure. No doubt about it. He's my
He's
second
up there.
favorite director of all time. So I guess he would be my favorite horror director. Because
Definitely your favorite Italian director. Because I'm presuming Kubrick's your favorite, yeah?
Yeah, but he's not per se a horror director, I guess. You know,
Right. Yeah.
Maybe he made the best horror film ever, but yeah, that's all.
I'm starting to believe now that Mario Bava maybe hasn't made a bad film, because I'm not going to give too much away, but Shock I was kind of lukewarm on, when I first saw it.
Right.
But to my defense, it was like a crappy old DVD. I've gone completely 180 on it, which I will come into later. I can't think of a Mario Bava film that is bad.
The only one, and Vincent Price considers it his worst film, is Dr. Goldfoot. But
okay,
you know,
that one, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's just a campy, goofy little movie. It is what it is. Yeah,
comedy.
Yeah.
I guess to say he never made a bad horror film, though.
No, never made a bad horror film. Never made a bad, action film. I would still maintain never made a bad film. Period.
Yeah.
And the thing about Mario Bava too is he wasn't just a director. He did special effects. He was a writer. He was a cinematographer. Yes.
I mean, damn artist all around. His set designer.
He sculpted it all. So it's we give a lot of credit to directors, and it is an important job. Of course, you can make or break a film as a director, but he did everything from the ground up.
I mean,
his mark is all over the film.
Listening to Argento talk about him when he was working on Inferno, where Argento's talking about he had these crystals, these special crystals and shit, and he just was amazed. He was just sitting there watching the master at work, is the way Argento had put it. Mm-hmm. But you see his trademarks, right? The through the glass, the window panes, you see the water ripple effect filter over the camera, all that's handcrafted shit, man. That's just he's on another level. You know,
he started off so many trends as well, because like in $5 for an August Moon, you get a scene where all the bodies are like being kind of held up, and like the slasher film just completely did that to more level in the 80s. And there's even scenes in these films, that basically he just made first before anyone else. And you can obviously that comes with the giallo as well.
Also part of the, like the very first Italian horror film, I Vampiri.
Yeah.
With Alfredo, Freda. Damn, blanking on his first name, but Freda.
Yeah.
Ricardo Freda.
Yeah, Ricardo Freda. But yeah, man. Go ahead.
I was going to say the one scene that we'll mention later is the dinner table scene in one of the films.
Oh yeah,
and that Happy Birthday to Me sprung to mind. And just all the slashes of the 80s, and there's no denying that Bay of Blood is probably one of the first ever slashers in type body count slashers. Anyway,
definitely set the blueprint. Yeah,
man, on everything, on ghost film, like I know there was ghost films before this, but.
Yeah, the Gothic supernatural horror, the science fiction in Italy as well.
Yeah, Planet of the Vampires. Right. A lot. I mean, the slasher genre, Giallo. Yeah, he was kind of there first. We wouldn't have a lot of things in the genre as a whole if it weren't for Bava getting there first. And he was certainly, though, the master of Gothic horror.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody ever did it better. I mean, you were talking, like, obviously Stanley Kubrick's a titan, and Alfred Hitchcock also in the conversation for best director of all time, but I wouldn't consider him strictly horror. In fact, majority of stuff wasn't really horror.
Thriller, suspense, right?
Mystery, thriller, yeah, and definitely not horror for the most part. I think I'd have to give that title to Bava. He did other genres, but when you look at the horror films, just about every single horror film is either a masterpiece or excellent, if not a masterpiece. So
yeah, there's no level of bad at all. But I was going to ask you guys, how do you feel if he'd have gone to America? Do you think that he would have still produced like top quality films, or do you think
the thing about it is, like reading what I've read on Bava, he would have been uninspired, and he didn't love Hollywood. He refused Hollywood. He
didn't speak English too, which was a problem. He barely, as far as I'm aware, I don't know if he spoke any English, maybe very basic, but actually directing somebody like Vincent Price was kind of an issue. So he was just Italy. He just wanted to stay in Italy.
Right. He wouldn't have loved it in Hollywood. He actually refused to do King Kong, 1976 King Kong. So
Carlo Rambaldi ended up getting the Oscar, but he was asked by Dino De Laurentiis to do the effects, and in retrospect, he probably should have taken that job. But he was also at the end of his life. That was 76. He died in 80.
But it's pretty awesome. That's one of the things I respect about Bava, because he wasn't going to bend. He was going to do his thing, and what we find out in his later films, he was kind of getting pissed off, at the end of the era. But yeah, man.
Well, he wanted to create. Once he had creative control, that's his best work. Obviously, one of these films we're going to mention later has got two different versions, and I think that really hurt him. I like that coming towards the end of his career as well. After when that was, I think 75, the other version come out, and it really like pained him to see that version, the House of Exorcism, but.
That was the dominant cut for a very long time.
He wanted his name off that shit,
He did.
Yeah.
And you also remember, like, Kidnapped, or Rabid Dogs as it became, that wasn't seen until after his death. So, and that's a fantastic movie. You kind of wonder, had that have been out then and there, and he had lived longer, I could have seen him, still having several years of quality film. He would have run into that same issue that all the Italians did, as far as TV essentially killing the theatrical market. But 77 is his last theatrical film. Of course, he did Devil's Game with his son. He did one of the shorts on there.
That's made for TV, but that one, I tried to watch that one, and that feels more like Lamberto to me. But it also feels like a very watered down Mario, if it is Mario, you know.
He's kind of passing the torch at that era the best he can. So it looks different, but there were still great Italian horror films. I mean, we had the rise of Fulci, just classic after classic there. So I would have liked to have seen it, but he had his era. It's a shame that Gothic horror was kind of on the outs, and we really had the Giallo at that point dominating everything. But I think he was capable enough that he could have tapped into anything, but it's still made great films.
It's so funny to me though, because a lot of these Italian directors, they talk so much shit about each other and everything. No one talks shit on Mario Bava.
No,
nobody. You know what I mean? It speaks volumes. He was a class act for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
But let me catch the chat. Let's see who's in here right quick. Let's see. We got Russell. He says Dirk loved all 3 films. Awesome, man.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, Russell.
We got Dan Sean in here. What's happening, man?
What up?
Got the mayor. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, man? Glad you recovered from that procedure you had the other day.
Okay. I didn't hear about it. So I'm out of the loop, though. I've been busy all damn week on the grindstone hard, man. But glad you're doing better, Mayor. Guadalupe Rentiera. Daniel Shine, sir, where are you from?
I'm from all over DC, but then all over. I'm in Atlanta right now.
Yep. Okay. And then my beautiful wife's in here. Hey, everyone. Y'all enjoy the stream.
What's up, Tash?
Well, thank you.
How's it going?
Appreciate you. Love of my life. Partner in crime.
But does she watch some of these awfully violent movies with you? I assume there's limits. Like
she's going to watch. She loves the Terrifier stuff, but we're gonna go see part 3 tomorrow. She won't watch a lot of the older films, Well,
I'll tell you, like tomorrow, it's ugly. It's not a romantic comedy, so maybe not the best thing.
Right. We got Texas in here, man. He says, Russell says, Dirk, Matt, and yes. Yeah.
What's up, Tex?
Welcome to the panel of pain. What's happening, Texas?
Hey, Texas.
Let's see. Danny Dundada, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, man?
Luis Rizzo, see about refused films hijacking the Vinegar Syndrome Facebook page.
Well, I know about the drama with Vinegar Syndrome cutting their legs out on Cannibal the Musical, where they announced their version months in advance I'm not aware of a Facebook hack. That's cool. Interesting.
Mayor says, we've got Adrian James in here. What's happening, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
Mayor says, I probably won't say do too much commenting tonight, but I'll definitely be lurking here in the crypt. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, cheers, man.
It's always good. Horror Life, Black Sunday. Yeah.
Doesn't get any better.
Yeah, it's pretty high. It's not my favorite from Bava, but it's a lot of people's, and I can see why. Let's see. Hey, okay, everybody talking. I love Mario Bava. He makes beautiful looking movies. I bet he could even make Feruza look attractive.
He's bringing that hate to another podcast. Feruza's a goddess, Cliff. Come on.
You got Cliff Booth in here. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
Tyrese Daniels' favorite movie. Oh, it's definitely Lisa and the Devil from Bob for me. But
I got to go Black Sunday, but there's a competitor tonight. I mean, there's one that comes close to me for me. 2, really.
Okay. Yeah, there's for me it's The Girl Who Knew Too Much. But I mean, I'm big on all these.
I think we all 3 got a different one then. So
yeah. But I can't argue against Black Sunday. That's a masterpiece. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard director to rank because I mean, again, it's he's
like
got so many that are perfect. So it's
what do you like? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because Lisa and the Devil is so far from anything else. Like it's way different than, and I consider it a Gothic as well. So, but
yeah. Oh,
but
like,
anyway,
certainly the first two are.
I guess we'll get into Kill Baby Kill, man. 1966, also known as Operation Fear.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to say the Italian, but in English it's Operation Fear, and that was it's also known as The Dead Eyes of Dr. Dracula.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Curse of the Dead, Curse of the Living Dead, and I think that's all. The rest are in Italian, and I'm not going to attempt that. So, not
so
tonight.
Operation Fear, I presume, is the translation from the Italian title.
From the Operazione Pora.
Pora, yeah.
So that was to play off of that was for marketing, like with Erica Blanc, because she was in some James Bond ripoff films.
Right.
So they were trying to, like, Erica Blanc in Operation Fear, kind of. But no, so of course, directed by Mario Bava. I'll just get into the synopsis. Dr. S.Y., I guess that's how you say his name, S.Y., travels to a superstitious Carpathian village in Transylvania to help Inspector Kruger to solve ongoing mysterious deaths. The locals seem to know the cause, but stay silent. The deeper they pry, the closer to death they become. So, we got Jack Stewart in here, or Giacomo Rossi Stewart, as what he's known by.
That guy was in such a lot of films, like Giallo related.
I think he's 80 films, like 80 films he was in.
Yeah. Some of the ones I'll mention is The Bloodsucker Leads the Dance, Reflections in Black, Death Smiles on a Murderer, Crimes of the Black Cat, Night Evelyn Came the Grave, and it just goes on.
Weekend Murders.
Yeah.
Galtiki, the Immortal Monster from '59 with Bava.
Yeah,
it's interesting because he's not like a household name, at least today. But yeah, the body of work is pretty insane. A lot of really good stuff there too. Death Smiles on a Murderer is a fantastic movie.
Oh, I love that one.
What do y'all think though? Because he was trying to get, I believe I'm right on this. Was he trying to get Burt Lancaster?
Yes.
For this one.
Well, Mario tried to get him a couple times. In fact, I think he tried to get him for I believe it might have even been, I think Lisa and the Devil. He tried to cast him a couple times for things that never came.
Okay, I might be mixing it with Lisa though, because
I know Lisa and the Devil. He tried to get
Burt Lancaster,
Anthony Perkins as well. Yeah.
Betty Davis was one of the
Anthony Perkins.
So they were going to play the mother and the son, which would have been interesting, but
I think Anthony Perkins was too much on the nose for Lisa and the Devil. But I'm sorry, getting ahead of ourselves.
He definitely is. But Darren, do you want to kick it off with the Kill Baby Kill? I know you got the scene by scene. Straight.
Yeah, so
I mean, we don't have to do it that way, but I'm just saying.
No. So I just want to mention. So it's produced by a guy called Luciano Catanecci, and if you are really into all your Italian crime films, he turns up as the the villain in so many of them Lenzi films. You got music by Carlo Ruscicelli, did Libido, and then there were none. Blood and Black Lace, of course, and The Whip and the Body. We mentioned a bit of the cast, got Erica Blanc. She turns up in a lot as well. She was in Body Puzzle we featured last time. Right. Night Evelyn Came Out the Grave, and could go on and on. So Sweet, So Perverse. But this film, it's I don't know about you guys, but this was one that kind of grew on me over time. I remember watching it first, and I liked it, and I've always liked it, but it's just kind of gradually every watch I have, it kind of goes up a little bit. But stemming from the plot, so you've got this young woman, and you see her at the start, and she's running away from this castle, and she ends up falling on these spikes. Right. And we hear like this children's laughter.
Yeah.
So, you know, this doctor comes into town there, and he's going to do the autopsy along with Eric Blanc.
I'll play a quick, I'm sorry, man. I'll play a quick clip of it. But
yeah.
Just to kind of, well, they're a little longer. They're not too long, but they're
okay.
Here we go. So I just kind of put some stuff together.
Yeah.
So iconic too. I mean, and it's a boy that played Melissa Grapp's Valerio Valeri. One and done. I consider. I mean, most of you out there have probably not heard the name Melissa Grapp's, but I mean that character, the ghost girl in this, is just so spooky, and that the laugh mixed with just the shot of that swing going back and forth.
Yeah,
for me,
that's
is
an
so
iconic.
Yeah.
No, it definitely is, man. It's like they couldn't. So Mario Bava wasn't happy with any of the young girls he was trying to find. He was trying to find the right look.
Right.
And then they seen this dead-eyed looking boy looking at him, and I think this is what Lamberto said. He just had these dead eyes. He looked straight at him and his father, and he was on the set, and it was like, let's do it. Let's get him on, you know, like, and everybody was terrified of him on the set too.
I think because it's a boy, and you don't know that when you very rarely know that when you're first watching it,
right.
But it kind of works. It gives you some kind of strange, you know, there's something, you know, not quite right, but you can't make it out. And what a character, you know, you've got all these kind of deaths occurring around this young girl, Melissa. We won't give too much away with the backstory and that, but
and he is definitely the most famous Italian female ghost.
I mean, inspired so much too. I mean, and inspired legit classics. Don't Look Now, Suspiria. You can see those influences all over. And even Last Temptation of Christ, it was influenced by this. So it
okay.
Bava's use of shadows and lighting is just masterful. I don't think anybody's ever done it better, in my opinion.
Because he was like, he started as a, you know, his father too, right? Eugenio was a filmmaker as well. But Bava, like we mentioned earlier about the set designs, and he was so meticulous on everything, had to be perfect, you know, the way it was lit. So even if he had a different cinematographer, he got the last call on how that shit was going to be shot.
Absolutely. And that's why he had his fingers were just in everything. And one thing that always amazed me about Bava too is some of his productions were very troubled, including this one, because the producers, Nando Pisani and Luciano Catenacci, who you already mentioned, they ran out of cash early into principal photography, and the crew and cast had to continue without getting paid. But despite all of this movie was a hit.
That speaks volumes, though. The whole he told the cast, he said, "Look, I don't have any more money to pay you, but it's up to y'all if y'all want to. Let's finish this thing." And out of respect for Mario Bava, they all stayed, and I think that speaks volumes, man. Like, really.
Did you realize, I was reading up on this as well, and so Bava is all about style. He's like Argento. It's all about style and not so much about the actors. But with this, a lot of the scenes were like improvised, I read. And he would basically just give him like an outline of what, you know, how the scene was going to go. And they all would just say their own lines, which is incredible considering how it turned out, you know?
Yeah, he was pretty, like, he was a lot like that. He just kind of let them do their thing.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. He wasn't that, so many people loved working with him because of that reason.
Yeah, it's funny because the story that I heard initially was that the script was like 30 some pages, so most of it was improv. But I think it was Roberto Curti who might have disputed that. He said there was a full script under The Macabre Hours of Fear that was out there. So it's hard to say, really. I mean, if it's true that you had to improvise a good chunk of that, I mean, my God, it doesn't show. I mean,
no, hell no. Yeah. But did y'all know that this was made off of Mario? I didn't get the guy's name, but it was an American producer. He bet him that he could make this movie in 12 days, that he could shoot a film in 12 days. That's how this movie came about.
Right.
And he shot it in 12 days.
12 days is rough now. I mean, but like even back then, I mean, for something of this quality too, it's absolutely amazing. And Bava was so, I mean, Federico Fellini, who just cinema in general is considered one of the all-time greats. Yeah. I mean, he stole from him in his Spirits of the Dead anthology segment, Toby Dammit, which there's a funny story about Mario having dinner with his wife at a function and just kind of complaining. It's like, your husband fucking stole from me. And she just shrugged him off. It's like, well, you know how he is.
Oh, damn. Okay. So, I didn't know that. Yeah. I did. Yeah. That makes sense, though, because Luchino Visconti and Federico Fellini both gave it standing ovations at the premiere of Kill Baby Kill.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are two big heavy hitters in Italy.
I think this was Mario's favorite film as well that he made, or certainly one of them.
No, Lisa and the Devil.
Lisa and the Devil I've read as well. Yeah. I've read two different sources, but it's certainly in the top 2 or 3 that he made.
Yeah. I know Martin Scorsese considers this his masterpiece, right? A lot of people
do. Yeah. And when we're on about starting trends, or being ripped off later on in films or influence, as they say, you've got to think of The Changeling with the ball.
No shit, yeah.
Come to mind,
Yeah.
And there's no doubt that that's a nod to this film. It's just no doubts about it.
Would you say that this maybe inspired Poltergeist? The look of Carol Ann, anyway.
Yeah,
possibly, yeah.
I don't know, but maybe not.
I don't know if it was something about the year, because I mean, you mentioned a lot of films that certainly your more casual horror fan are going to know before this, but they got here first with Kill Baby Kill, and I don't know. This is one that almost makes me sad in a way, because I know it's only a certain segment of horror fans that have checked it out, but I think it's aged perfectly. I think, we've got an Italian Gothic show coming up on Dead End Drive-In where we talk about this a little bit, but I think all this Gothic horror stuff, particularly from the Italians, holds up to this day. It's aged very well, and I think it still has that broad appeal that I think the more people that see it, they will become fans. And even just in the chat, you were asking like, oh, what's your favorite Bava film? You might get 6, 7, maybe even 8 different answers to that question.
Right. That's what makes him so great, though, right? Yeah. I mean, also, I was going to mention the score. So he picked, because they ran out of money, so he pulled from Blood and Black Lace, some cues from Blood and Black Lace. He pulled cues from The Whip in the Body as well. Because there's certain parts you notice, like, you're like, okay, that's Blood and Black Lace. Okay, that's Whip in the Body, which came before.
That happens a lot with these Italian films, I've noticed as well.
Right. But yeah, man, if you've never seen Kill Baby Kill, I highly recommend. I don't know what you're doing, man. Check it out. It's
right. Yeah. Like another quick thing I was going to mention was, did you get also the Wicker Man type vibe as well? Did you? Or
with the town?
Yeah, with the town.
They're all superstitious in the town, and I do love that the protagonist is who the protagonist is. That's all I'm gonna say. Because without spoiling the film.
You have a good reason to be superstitious in this one. I mean, so.
Yeah. And we didn't mention Giovanni Galletti, which is Baroness Grops. She does a great job. She was in The Lady in White 1938 version. And she was in The Bible in the Beginning 1966. She was a sinful woman, which I don't know if I've seen that or not, but I know she's in The Girl in Room 2A, Mrs. Grant in that one. So great actress.
Right.
Man.
Yeah. There's a scene I want to ask you guys about as well, where Bava, as we'll notice even more with the other films, does include a lot of doppelgangers in his films.
Yeah.
And there's one scene in this film that's repeatedly over, and he sees his doppelganger. Without giving too much away, do you think there's any like reason for that, or he's just?
It's like duality themes, you know.
Is it just to put you kind of on edge and not knowing, what's happening? And
because it happens in Black Sunday, it happens in
Lisa
and the Devil. It does it several times, and then you got like in Blood and Black Lace, you got dual killers, right? Duality killer theme. It happens a lot. He has themes though, like in this one, like the doctor, he's all about logic. And the town is all about superstition, that kind of theme. And the doctors of money, but the poor people really know what's going on. So, like, I don't know. There's those things too that I love about it. But
yeah, I just love every shot of this film. I mean, the cemetery shots, just everything. If you're a fan of ghost stories, and I don't like, particularly with older films, because there's stuff that I like that I realize, I recommend it and people won't. But if you like ghost stories, you will love this film. I see no reason that it wouldn't become one of your favorites. It just holds up so well, and it's so goddamn creepy.
It is.
It's just so creepy to the last shot. And it's a shame that Gothic horror was, slowly kind of petering out at this time, because I very much would have liked it to continue. But then again, we may not have gotten a lot of the giallos we loved. So, but my God, I cannot recommend this one enough. You will see this on a lot of people's top 100 horror movies of all time. It seems to break that list for a lot of people, and you just need to see this. You really need to see this, and just to track that progression into these other films we've talked about that came later, and my God, are classics in their own right. Don't Look Now. I mean, holy shit.
And to think that this is this is his fourth Gothic horror film.
People ignore the 60s. It's like the one decade, for some reason, horror fans just kind of, for whatever reason, they ignore it. And there was particularly a lot of great Italian stuff in the 60s.
Definitely. I hear that a lot, especially with the more younger fans as well. They find them too slow in the 60s. But you've got to be, with this film, I think you've got to be in a certain type of mood. You've got to be in that kind of, you want it stormy outside, you want a nice dark setting, sit down and watch it. Halloween's perfect, as we said.
And this type of genre is all about mood buildup and suspense and mystery, not so much heavy on the blood. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe that's part of it.
Pretty surprisingly bloody opening scene in this one, considering the time, though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. So a little bit of blood in here, but
But let me check the chat right quick. Cliff says Blood and Black Lace. Can't argue with you, man. Can't argue with you.
Like you say, it could be 7 different answers.
Right.
Really good.
Red says, good evening, folks. Did Captain stop doing live streams? I don't know.
He's on a bit,
Let's see.
Steve.
I loved his The Evil Eye.
That's a whole story unto itself. I'm sure you can.
I loved his The Evil Eye.
Yeah,
the girl knew too much. is the better version.
The Evil Eye is the US version.
I'm
isn't
telling
it? It's got a bit more comedy and
Russell. The Girl Knew Too Much is the better version, in my opinion. Anyway,
it's by far the better version.
But the Evil Eye does have a little thing with Bava in a painting winking at you though, which is cool. It's more comedy though in the Evil Eye.
Yeah.
Horror Life says, anybody need a horror movie buddy in Wisconsin? Throw a dagger my way. Okay.
Billy Bean, a chat regular over on our channels in Wisconsin. Hit him up.
Yeah. Synthetic. Hey, at Dead Radio at the Mayor. What's going on, Synthetic? I live in Toronto.
Man? Yep.
Let's see. Those directors always look for a sexy
ingenue.
We call it Canada-bis. Canadian-bis. Okay. They are tongue and twisting me up today. All right. Baron Blood is great. Yeah. And that's a good segue, like, on Baron Blood, because, you know, the next film we're talking about is Leasing the Devil. Well, he did Baron Blood before Leasing the Devil, and the producer told him, was it
Alfredo Leone?
Leone, yeah. Told him that because Baron Blood made a ton of money, so he let Mario Bava do whatever he wanted with unlimited fundage, unlimited resources, and this is his true passion project. This is a film that he wanted to make, and it's a very personal film.
Yeah,
for Mario Bava. So
I think it's one of his most underrated films as well. No one really mentions this. I've not seen a lot of people mention this in chats and online and that. It's always, you know, your big Black Sundays, Girl Who Knew Too Much, Blood and Black Lace. Yeah. This one needs to be seen, and we'll come into it. This is,
and it's I mean, I've seen this movie so many times, and every time I still have a question mark. Like, it still jacks with my brain, you know, because I think too deep into it, I think, but it's one of those kind of films. Like, surely is.
Surprisingly, though, right? I was reading that Lamberto Bava, kind of all the ambiguous stuff in the film, didn't like that at all. And he kind of wanted it all, you know, like
more straightforward.
Spelled out for us. But I was shocked when I read that. That's in the Roberto Curti book. I was like, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But see, I think that's what also kind of hurt the film, because it couldn't get distribution at the Cannes Film Festival. Nobody picked it up. Like, they loved it. A lot of people loved the movie, but then they were like, well, we can't, you know, this is too.
But most people do want it spelled out, don't they? They do want like a proper ending, a proper.
There's no way to mark it,
you know.
I guess.
Yeah.
So,
I think it was one of those things where they were just like, well, this is too arty, and I hate throwing out that term because you know, this is a masterpiece, but
it is.
They wanted just that thing that was straightforward, like, it's like,
right.
Well,
you know what we forgot to
monster?
Do? Huh? Sorry, Dan. You know what we forgot to do though?
The ratings on the first one.
No, we forgot to rate Kill Baby Kill, or we
can
or we can save it to the end, however y'all want to do it.
I'll rate it right now. I'm a 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
10. Perfect.
Kill Baby Kill.
I'm a strong 7.5 out of 10, and that's gone up like for me. So
Kill Baby Kill, man, I gotta give a 9 out of 10 for sure. Damn good one. But sorry, y'all. Like,
that's okay.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll get into it, man. Leasing the Devil. So you want to give a description, one of y'all?
You can go for it if you want, because I know this is like Dirk's favorite. I think one of his favorite films, full stop. I don't know if you want to go through some of the cast and stuff first, and the music.
That's cool. That's fine.
So we got the music by Carlos Savina. Did The Tenant, which I was surprised, Naked You Die. 9 Guests for a Crime. Like, some really good giallos in there as well. Killer Reserve 9 Seats. So the cast you've got to mention is just superb for this. So you got Telly Savalas, he plays Leandro. He was in Faceless. He was in Redneck, an Italian film, 73.
Kojak.
Yeah, with the lollipop as well. He has in this. Killer is on the Phone is one of my favorites. He's in as well.
He was in tons of what's the Birdman of Alcatraz?
Yeah. He was in the original Cape Fear, which I was surprised that I read. Because I couldn't remember him in that. But you've got Elkie Summer as well, and she was in Power and Blood. She was in I Miss You, Hugs and Kisses, which is a video nasty from the UK. Not very good from what I remember. Obviously, the House of Exorcism is the other film that we'll mention in a bit.
Yeah,
the different version to this. You got Silvia Koskina, another big name I'd say in Italian, film. Crimes of the Black Cat, So Sweet, So Dead. I remember her in.
Oh yeah.
You got the young, kind of handsome lead, Alicio Orano, and he's well known for The Killer Must Kill Again, Luigi Cozzi. And
he was supposed to be like, so originally they wanted to get Anthony Perkins to play that role.
Yeah.
But like Dan was saying, that would have been too damn on the nose. Like,
he done such a good job though in Damiani's The Most Beautiful Wife with Ornella Muti that they were like saying he was going to be a big star at the time. That was the breakthrough film for him. So getting him was kind of a coup as well. And even the lesser known, you've got Gabriella Tinti, is a very well-known actor in these films.
You got Alita Valley.
Alita Valley, an absolute giant.
Yes.
Suspiria, obviously.
Eyes Without a Face.
Yeah.
Great actress. Superior actress.
I mean, what a cast! Just
I think they wanted to get Betty Davis for her role.
They did.
Yeah.
And there's a scene as well. I was reading that the dialogue is a little bit like Psycho with Norman Bates and the mother.
Yeah.
Between Maximilian and
Also,
I'm glad it wasn't too on the nose. It would have just been too on the nose. I think it might have hurt the film. I gotta mention though, when she showed up to set in a purple dress, Mario Bava was super superstitious guy. And when he seen that purple dress, he said, "Oh shit, this movie's gonna fail. We're doomed." Did y'all know that the purple is like bad luck for some reason in Italy? I don't know the whole reason behind that, but it came to fruition though. Like unfortunately, he said it cursed the film. Her purple dress. He was pissed off. So, but it kind of did, because I mean, this one really didn't do any business outside of Spain and Portugal, I believe. And Alfredo Leone put a lot of money into this, but it didn't do anything despite everybody agreeing it was like his masterpiece. But unfortunately, that alternate cut it's weird because a lot of it's the same, but essentially an entirely different movie. It was just like Exorcist hit. Everything that's ripping off The Exorcist is hitting. So by God, there we go. And it's funny because they had just wrapped Lisa and the Devil, and they couldn't get distribution for it. So then Leone was like, "Look," Mario Bava was like, "Nah, man." At first he was like, "Nah, I ain't doing that shit. We're not doing that shit." And he did light a lot of the scenes, but then when he started hearing Elk Summer. Well, we'll get into that later. Let's talk about Lisa right now. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. But I'll show a clip right quick of Lisa and the Devil. Here we go. So, like, I don't think you can really spoil this film. Like, so basically there's an American tourist. She's in Spain, Toledo, Spain. She's on a tour and she stops, and her name's Lisa, by the way.
she stops and looks at this fresco painting on the wall, and it's that of the devil carrying the dead. And then she just wanders off right as soon as she sees it. It's like something happens to her, and she just wanders off down this corridor, walks into this shop, and there's a man dressing a dummy talking to someone else. There's all these keys and some weird symbolism shit in there. If you notice, some of the clocks don't have hands at all.
Right.
None of the clocks are moving. It's like time has stopped,
So many little things that you may not notice on a first viewing.
Yeah, I've seen this movie. Shit, I don't even know how many times I've seen it, to be honest. But
I mean, all that makes sense, doesn't it? When you realize what you're watching towards the end, like even the middle towards the end of the film, all that will come and make sense at some point. And well, I say that a lot of people didn't really make much sense of it. I was reading as well.
No,
but
no.
Yeah,
they, it's very ambiguous. It's Mario Bava's most ambiguous film, I would say. I can't think of one that's more, but it's a passion project. It's there's a lot of questions. Is Lisa real? Like, is one that you can ask yourself. Like,
there's a few. There's the reincarnation angle.
Is it? Yeah.
Is she already dead? There's that as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and then like Leandro, Telly Savalas' character, the devil. I mean, it's clear as day he's the devil from the jump, but it's so funny because he's playing a servant and he's like helping everyone and he's like serving everyone and he's lying to people. He's leading them the wrong paths and shit. And it's just so funny. Some of the witty dialogue that's humorous. Like when he's by himself, he's bitching about his employers, where in all reality, he's in complete control of the whole shit. So it's just a mind fuck of a movie. And man, I'll step off the floor for a minute.
No, even the opening shots where they pull up, and they get kind of stranded in the car, and then they end up in this big mansion. You've got Telly Savalas lives there. He's kind of the manservant, and the whole family dynamics as well. You've got the blind mother. Just superb. Like, takes you back to the look of like Blood and Black Lace at the beginning of that. It's incredible what he does with just so much style. Unbelievable. But I don't know if Dan wanted to come in and say anything there.
Oh, just this is like, if you're a fan of the Twilight Zone, and of course Telly Savalas was made his mark on that as well with the Talkie Tina. It's like you just step straight into like the best Twilight Zone episode ever with this movie. It's the atmosphere, the mood, everything is just completely perfect. And Telly Savalas was a unique talent. I mean, that era, so many of those actors were second to none today. I mean, there is nobody that I can compare to Telly Savalas. He was just a once in a generation talent, and he was so creepy, often without doing much of anything in this movie. Just being there.
That's why it works. Yeah.
He's funny but creepy, and
like
I think he really epitomizes, like he portrays the devil perfectly.
He does. I mean, he's not, sitting there twirling his mustache or doing something that a lot of actors would probably do when they're playing the devil. And it's just really heartbreaking because this is another one. I mean, while some people would have seen it, but by and large, Mario Bava died in 1980, just assuming that his masterpiece was not going to be seen by the masses. Which is very sad to me. I mean, same thing with Rabid Dogs, obviously, because that, didn't really enjoy the release until after he was gone.
I do got one thing I got to say. There was a point, like a softcore porn scene injected in this film. And
Gabrielle Tinti and Sylvia Koskini, A little more graphic in House of Exorcism.
Yeah. So
it is. Yeah, I was surprised.
The thing is, though, that they were grinding. They're full on butt naked, and they're grinding and shit. And she was getting turned on from the shit. So they put a latex appliance over her crotch while this was going on, and it melted to her crotch. So they ripped the shit off after the shit was over, and there was like an echo scream throughout the studio.
Wow.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah, Gabrielle Tinti was no stranger to sex scenes like that. Of course, he was married to Laura Gemser for many, many years, and did a lot of the Black Emmanuel films, some after this, but a lot of them after this. But
Ivan Razumov turned down this role for whatever reason. He didn't want to play George the butler or the chauffeur.
Yeah, he passed it off to his friend. He and Tinti were very close. Razumov was also in a lot of those Black Emmanuel movies with Tinti as well.
I think Razumov could have played the Telly Savalas character as well, because he's kind of, just by the look of him, you know, he's got something sinister about him.
He would have been really good, but
I think I'd still rather have Savalas, though. You know?
I think they went with the right one, but it would have been interesting to see that version, though, I think.
Yeah,
I think Razumov would have been scary, but he wouldn't have had that sort of
that humor.
That sort of comedic. I'm just kind of fucking with you kind of deal.
He's kind of likable, isn't he, Telly Savalas? Even though he's the devil, you kind of like him. And his sarcasm all the way through is brilliant.
Yeah, and he's smoking a cigarette, and so if you pay attention to some of the things he says, wherever there's smoke, there's fire. So every time you see him smoking a cigarette, some shit's going down in the movie. So, and also like there's another line where he's got the lollipop, and this is like the transition where he's trying to quit smoking. Mario Bava wanted him to do gumdrops, but he was like, "Hey, how about I do grapes? I just eat grapes or whatever." He said, "How about try a lollipop?" And he carried it over to Kojak. So that became his signature, which he did Kojak same year, right after this movie. So,
and that's what a lot of people remember him for. But goddamn, like Telly Savalas, I wish he were still making movies.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
He's awesome, dude. But that one scene where he says, "Some things are hard to mend," he pulls out the lollipop, throws it in the water, and then you see that ripple that I'm talking about, that water ripple over the camera lens, like it's kind of like a greatest hits too, Lisa and the Devil. You see certain things from other films in this,
right?
And almost like Maximilian. Do y'all get this? Maximilian is Mario Bava.
I didn't see that.
Like if you start listening to some of the things he says, he's trying to get away from, it's a very personal film, man. It's crazy. But
it goes to some places you don't expect it to. Certainly with the necrophilia angle, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, necrophilia three-way, right?
And weirdly enough, he can't get it up because he's got the like skeleton next to him when he's trying to have sex. It's quite funny.
But it's really
that's Bava's humor, maybe.
Yeah, he's a nut, man. Let me catch the chat right quick, y'all.
Yeah.
Russell says Baron Blood is great. I think I read that one. Yeah, it is, man. It really is.
I never underrated one, actually. Yeah.
We got the Dr. Rott's Shock Shop. Hell yeah, man. Hello, everyone. What's happening?
How's it going?
Yeah, what's up, man?
We got Orc in here. Sup, boys? What's happening,
up,
man?
Orc? Yep.
How's it going, Orc?
Pleasant Nightmares. Yeah, man. I have a BMBL one sheet. Just love the flick.
Very lucky, very lucky.
I don't think I've ever spoke to Orc before because he was the original on the Sausage Factory. I used to watch that all the time.
Orc is an OG. Orc's been around a long time. Before
he
Region
was an OG
3
on DEADPIT as well, I think. Yeah, on the message board.
Yep, Orc's been around forever. So Yeah. Good to see you in the chat, Orc.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah.
And Russell says, Hatchet for the Honeymoon, I liked. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. That's one that I didn't like as much as I, wanted to. But I'm not going to say it's a bad film because it's not.
Or like, okay, I'm not going to read that one. They're just talking. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say another thing about this movie, almost a pretty big disaster because the castle, a good chunk of it was kind of uninhabitable. And at one point, there was this massive rainstorm in Madrid, and it caused a bunch of the ceilings to collapse.
Oh, shit.
They had other production stuff there. They couldn't have actors because I'm sure it was full of mold and just a death trap. But had the actors been using that section, they may have died because it just all collapsed.
See, it goes back to that damn purple dress, man. I'll tell you.
The thing with the Twilight Zone that Dan mentioned earlier, there is actually an episode of the Twilight Zone that's similar to this. I think it was called After Hours, and it was written by Rod Serling. So that was kind of interesting. Obviously, that would that come after this? I presume, yeah.
I believe.
I'm not sure with the
Yeah, it would have had to have been before, I think, but it's I don't know the exact year on that, but Twilight Zone is something that I know a lot of younger horror fans do watch. And again, I'm telling you, if you love Twilight Zone, watch Lisa and the Devil because you're gonna love it. Like
I'll tell you,
100% guarantee.
I'll tell you a very underrated Mario Bava film though that nobody talks about, and I really dig the shit out of it. It's got Christopher Lee in it. Hercules in the Haunted World. It's got Rosalba Neri's sister in it.
Great.
I think it said Rosalba Neri, but it's like her sister or some shit. But that's a good one, man. And the Hercules thing might throw you off, but that's a horror flick. And but anyway, I don't want to stray too far. The Wild Guys in here. He says, Dirk, Darren, guest, how are you guys? Lovely.
What's up, man?
Colors pop. Yeah, this Blu-ray looks great, by the way. I have this one, the Arrow.
It's way out of print, that is now. I've got a rip of it, but I need.
I don't have the window one that Arrow put out, and then I got this one here. This is the Spanish release.
Very cool. I feel like a 4K is probably coming.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
I'm gonna get it.
So. Yeah, but it's actually in the second part of the box sets as well, because they brought these out years ago.
Yeah,
I didn't get the second one, which this is in.
Right.
But these got all the first volume got all the classics. Got Black Sabbath, The Mask of Satan, Black Sunday, Kill Baby Kill.
Yeah.
But this needs a good release. This really does.
DJ M.J. Joel saw Kill Baby Kill in an old theater with a 2:30 a.m. start time. The tiredness created a hallucinogen effect. Awesome.
Oh,
that's the way to see it, I think.
Yeah.
Where did you see it, DJM? I'd love to see this in the theater.
I'd definitely be on that shit. Sure, man. 2:30 in the morning. Hell yeah. Oh. Texas says, "Hey Johnny, okay, I'm trying not to do all that." Did Bava make any other film similar to Diabolic?
Dan would probably be the man.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched a lot of his stuff. I haven't seen everything. Not all his horror.
Not really. I mean, Danger Diabolic is fantastic, though.
I don't think he liked that, though. Bava didn't like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's
that's not his style that he cares for too much.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I mean, that film is just so...
he was paid for hire for that one.
Yeah, it's an action film, but if you haven't seen it, it's a totally different vibe than probably what you're expecting in your head. I think it's a wonderful movie. I know Lauren at Region Free, he's a big fan of that one as well. And again, I think it just illustrates just how diverse he was, though. He wasn't a one-trick pony. He could have, again, had he have continued on into the 80s, I'm sure while the budgets were going to shrink a little bit, he would have adapted to the scene. I think he would have had other masterpieces under his belt had he have continued on, and probably made a lot of really gory movies in the wake of Fulci, I'm sure. But he would have adapted.
Yeah,
he would have adapted.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, because can't really spoil this, but the final scene, and I know we're gonna come on to the different version as well in a minute, but the final scene in the plane.
Yeah.
Have you guys got any kind of thoughts on that and how you think?
Absolutely.
Why that was? Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I absolutely have a reason for that. In my opinion, that is, I believe that Lisa's not real. Spoiler alert, everyone.
Okay.
I believe that Lisa is not even a real anything. I think because if you listen to the part in the film where he's talking about Helen destroying Troy and the face of Helen, he talks about Cleopatra. Like, maybe all these females are the same female throughout time, and he uses her to destroy and to bring souls. And I believe that the airplane is taking everyone to hell.
That's interesting, man.
That's what I really believe. But but there's no wrong answer. Like, this is not one of those kind of films. So
I kind of got like a more simplest kind of version of that. I think he's obviously the devil. He's obviously controlling everything, in terms of having the dolls. I don't think she's actually alive at all.
Yeah.
Like you say, I don't think
she's a puppet.
Yeah, she's a puppet.
But you notice how she never looks like a mannequin though.
Right, she's the only one, yeah.
And it's like she's wearing this like goddess kind of clothing when she, it's weird.
There's a lot of interpretations, but I think, when I first saw this, I don't think I really knew. I was just like, that's fucking creepy and scary. I don't understand it, but doesn't matter. That's but no, that's a very good take for sure. It's just so iconic, and again,
she just looks so confused the whole time, and
just an empty plane. How much fear that inspires in a person.
It's like, is she between life and death? Is she like lingering?
But you notice how she switches back and forth through different lives. So that's why I think that. I don't know. I'm not gonna force, but that's just what my opinion is. It's pretty crazy.
No, everyone will have a different opinion on most of these.
This one here, like I said, it's a hard one for sure, and I think that's what hurt it. But to me, it's my type. It's my favorite kind of film.
We can do the rating in a bit if you want, but we got to cover the House of Exorcism version as well, which came out 2 years later.
Let me go through the chat right quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Horror Life says last Halloween season, I bounced between Corman, Poe series movies, and Bava movies, and I was totally in my zone. Hell yeah!
Can't beat the Poe Corman titles at Halloween.
Yeah, man, for sure. Let's see. I'm gonna try to get through here right quick, y'all. We got Sean in here. Hey, good evening, guys. What's happening, Sean?
What's up, man?
Cinephile Sanity.
Yeah.
Check them out. Sub up. They got some cool stuff going on over there. See, I'm just trying to get through all the talking. All right. Okay, Russell says he loved Telly Savalas in The Dirty Dozen. Classic.
Yeah.
Synthetic says, I remember Bay of Blood the most. Need to catch up on more Bava. Definitely, man. He's master of the macabre, in my opinion. The true maestro. But I know a lot of people would say Argento, but let's see.
He never made Dracula 3D. So
no, he didn't do that.
There's definitely that.
But he did make The Word a lot. So,
there you go. Quite a bit better than Dracula 3D. Never had a praying mantis in his movie.
No, never did that. Let's see. The Whip in the Body was not bad. Yeah, that's the first S&M film, right? That I know of.
Can go back a little further than that, really, but yeah, I mean, probably the first for a lot of people.
Okay. Rating equals 10. Awesome. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's no mystery, man. Y'all go ahead. It's a 10 out of 10 for me, Lisa and the Devil is. So
10 out of 10 for me as well. Yeah.
I'm gonna be more reserved. I'd say it's like an 8.5.
Okay.
Like bordering on a 9, I suppose. But Hayward, let's talk about the other version, and you can tell me how you rate that as well. But so you got the House of Exorcism 2 years later in 1975.
Well, you want me to go ahead and play the clip that I got?
Yeah, go for it.
For House of Exorcism.
Yeah.
I think it's the funnest clip I got tonight. So y'all get ready, buckle down. Yeah, let's buckle down and hold on. It's gonna get kind of weird right here. All right, here we go.
An idea.
Get out of here, you son of a bitch! It's your turn now. Now it's your turn.
Turn for what? Whose turn?
Finally a body.
Give us this day our daily bread.
There's your fucking daily bread. Eat it. Eat it like you did those horse cunts before you became a priest.
I wasn't sure Dirk was going to be playing that scene, but yeah, awesome, man.
A little less classy than Lisa and the Devil.
Yeah, and like to be fair, we're going to talk about it, but I got to say this: Mario Bava wanted nothing to do with that shit.
Right, yeah, rightly so as well.
He understood. He really, he didn't
got
fight
it.
Yeah,
but at first he didn't want to do that at all. He's like, take my name off the shit. He was bitching at Elk Summer, said, stop speaking all that profanity, and Leone was like, she has to do it. And all that shit. And he was not happy, man. And he said it was sacrilegious. So
he said it was the lowest point of his career as well. Because he said something about he's got his name on it, which he never, he didn't want his name on this new version.
It's because of Lisa and the Devil was his passion project. It was his most, from what I understand, it's his favorite film that he ever made. And it was like his masterpiece. And then it was just turned into this cash grabby hack job, is basically the way he looked at it,
Right. So you I wrote down some of the differences. So how I would describe this is, you've got Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2, where they just take a few scenes and put him into the first film, or from the first film, I should say. So some of the differences in this, because you've got the music at the start, is it like an Omen vibe? Do you notice the
title card is
over the title credits, but like you say, she early on she faints in front of this fresco painting and she becomes possessed, like the scene you've seen. And there's just little different, just thrown in randomly. You've got the core of the first film, but it makes completely no real sense, obviously. Lamberto Bava actually shot some of the scenes, and Mario at least wanted him there rather than just this Leone guy all on his own, directing the added on scenes. But you've even got the spider kind of walk, like you've seen in that clip. She vomits green pea soup, she's basically doing a Linda Blair impression all the way through these scenes.
I said, that's Alfredo Leone.
Yeah.
And who had faith in Lisa and the Devil. He loved Lisa and the Devil. He just knew
he wanted to get his money back.
He did, and people forget Exorcist, of course, massive, but for a little while there, everything from Antichrist, Beyond the Door, was a huge hit. Beyond the Door made tons of money. These movies were all hitting there for a while, so it makes sense to recoup that. He's like, well, we could kind of make Lisa and the Devil a possession story.
What about that one line where he says, or she says, he says to her, I should say, "Where do you come from?"
Yeah.
And then she just says, "From a cunt, you jerk." Like, I was fucking crying laughing.
Yeah, I mean,
straight to the point.
And you just, I'm just picturing when I'm reading about Bava, his reaction to this shit. I could just imagine him cussing out Elk Summer, quit talking like that.
I'm surprised he went
trying
back
to stop shit from happening.
Yeah, she threw herself into it. But I mean, you've got full frontal nudity by the priest's girlfriend who dies in this car crash.
Right.
But the whole ending as well, you've got frogs, you've got snakes. It's incredible. I was gobsmacked when I first seen it. But and then over the end credits, completely different vibe. You've got the giallo music going on. And I'm like, it's completely, I don't know. It's worth a watch, I'd say, just comedically.
Yeah, it's good.
Don't watch it first. That is one thing I will tell you out there.
Yeah,
if you've not seen either, please don't watch House of Exorcism first. It's still worth watching.
Yeah.
It's still worth watching, and it's interesting how very different it is while largely being the same footage. But
and don't make the mistake of trying to get explanation for Lisa and the Devil from House of Exorcism, because it's not going to work.
No, some people actually say,
I've heard
watch this one first, and I'm like, why? That's the worst thing you could possibly do. And I'm not shitting on this movie, really. I mean, I like trashy Exorcist ripoffs, but knowing what this was, as Lisa and the Devil, it's kind of a shame that they did this and then just.
It's a shame they had to do that.
Yeah, it really is. And that's what Mario Bava went to the grave thinking was left of his movie.
But if you actually think about it, Lisa and the Devil don't make a lot of sense, and that's the way he made the film. But even less so in this other version. It's just they're two completely different films.
Yeah, you can.
Well, obviously they are.
You can tell.
It's weird, man.
Scenes, you can blatantly tell.
And
Lamberto was there on that shit. Really.
It's funny going back over 50 years and looking at this because, I mean, even if you like House of the Exorcism, and again, I liked a lot of the dumb, sleazy Exorcist ripoffs, but you could kind of make a comparison today, and it's like we'll get these movies. It's like we need to dumb it down. The Blumhouse stuff where I look at something like Night Swim or Imaginary, and I'm like, I don't understand who fucking likes this. Even something like Megan, which is fine. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just,
I didn't like that one.
Yeah, I didn't love it either. But I'm looking at it and I'm thinking I mean, this isn't spectacular. There's so many better versions of this story out there. I mean, Demon Seed. Just go watch Demon Seed. But,
great film. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, even back then, though, they looked at something like Lisa and the Devil, which is, again, in my opinion, a masterpiece. And I think that one, again, plays very well today if you watch it for the first time as a younger horror fan. But, just that they could look at that and think well, people aren't going to get it. We need to just keep it right on the nose, evil teddy bear or, something very simple.
Spoon-fed, straightforward. Is hitting the masses mainly. So
which, again, too bad.
Open up,
I don't even know whether you guys even want to rate this one, to be honest.
I'll rate it, man. I mean,
go for it.
I'll give it a 5 out of 10 because of what it is. It's and that's probably it's funny to see Elk Summer do that shit. She was a trooper.
It is, yeah.
It is funny to still see her, act like that, and she was all down for it. So I mean,
for some of the sleazy nudity, and you got some of like the flashback to the accident scene and that, I'd probably give it another 5 as well. I think it's just worth just a curious watch, really.
Yeah, I'd round it out at 5. It's more of a curiosity piece, is how I look at it. A companion piece, I should say.
Right.
Than
you know, it was to get some money back, basically.
Yeah.
And it pissed Mario off. So, you know.
Did it make a lot of money though? Did you find that
out? I think it did okay, just because everything was doing well. I don't think it did like beyond the door numbers though.
It hit the US before Lisa and the Devil did, you know.
Yeah.
For sure. In 75, I believe, 1975. So
yeah, it was a little bit later, but still like all of that was kind of hitting.
Right.
Yeah, a perfect time to have something like that out there that you could market, because just she's got to puke on the guy.
Since we're kind of talking about that, I was just going to ask y'all, man, what's your favorite Exorcist ripoff then? Mine's the Antichrist, the Tempter.
I might have to go Antichrist too, especially. I mean, there's a lot of Exorcist ripoffs, but if we're talking like right out in the wake of it, Antichrist is pretty damn good.
Yeah,
I've not seen the Antichrist. I'm trying to think. There was one that Steve played that we was watching on. It's an Italian one, but I can't think the name of it. Is it Magdalena? The devil?
Magdalene?
Yeah, that could.
No, not Magdalena. No, Magdalena. Okay. It's crazy, man. It's just as crazy as like the Haze of Exorcism cut.
Beyond the Door, I'm not a big fan of that.
I'm not a big fan. That's Richard Johnson, yeah.
But the Antichrist smacks it around.
I need
Antichrist.
To see that.
Yeah, watch Antichrist, Darren. If you haven't seen it, you'll have.
That's Alberto Demartino, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need to see that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's on 4K now.
Yeah. Beyond the Door.
The blue looks great from Kino as well. So.
Yeah.
I was going to say Beyond the Door would like take us into the next film anyway. So I don't know if you want to do the comments first and then.
Yeah, I'll do the comments right quick. Russell says, I was shocked when I first seen Shocked. Hell yeah.
Also known as Beyond the Door 2.
Beyond the Door 2, absolutely. The little boy, he's in the first one.
Yeah.
That is the only connection that it has, because as you learn you know, before you get into it, they say the Beyond the Door trilogy, and I mean, this is Beyond the Door 2, other than having that same child actor in there. There's nothing else that ties them together. Beyond the Door 3 was also known as Amok Train or Death Train, and that has absolutely nothing to do with either.
I've heard of that one, yeah.
Did you guys know though that in 2021 there was a film announced, Embryo Beyond the Door, which was being made as a direct sequel to the original, with actress Juliette Mills returning to a role.
I've never heard of that.
I don't know where it stands now. I don't know if it's something that COVID kind of killed off, because I haven't heard any kind of an update since 2021, but apparently that is something that was in the works.
She's got to be up there in age as well.
She's in her 80s. Yeah, she's in her 80s now. So my guess is it's a dead project, but it's at least something that was announced at one point.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen it.
Yeah. Much like Rogerio Dodato's Cannibal Holocaust sequel that never happened.
Yeah, it was rumored a few times, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Synthetic says, great clip, but Blatty was probably looking for royalties.
It's hard to like imagine they got away with that as well without having some kind of legal issue, because it's blatant, obviously.
Yeah, it is kind of funny, because like they went after a lot of the Jaws ripoffs, but the Exorcist stuff seemed to pass okay.
Yeah.
Russell says the pea soup shooting scene in the OG Exorcist was supposed to hit him in the chest, and in the face. He was so mad. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that shows in the scene as well. That's why the scene plays so well.
Right. Synthetic says Planet of the Vampires. Yeah, Planet of the Vampires, man. I'm gonna briefly just mention. I think absolutely Alien. Who wrote Alien? Do you know the original? Had to have seen Planet of the Vampires. Maybe not, but
yeah, I mean,
story. Like,
Alien is something that obviously it's a masterpiece, whether it borrowed or not. But it's hard to say that it didn't borrow from.
You're getting a signal, and like you could say Tobe Hooper's Life Force too, right? I guess, but
exactly
Contamination as well. Luigi Cozzi.
Yeah,
that's kind of a rip off of Alien, like a fun way as well.
Russell says Exorcist 3 is one of the best sequels. Brad Dourif was great. Yeah, definitely.
It's superb.
Gemini Killer. I love how he was the director for Hercules Unchained, uncredited. Yeah, he's got some uncredits for several things, man. Let's see. Danger Diabolic has a great score by Morricone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen Diabolic. It's been a while though. Danger Diabolic.
I've never seen that one.
There was a foreign Exorcist ripoff film scene for scene. Can't remember the title.
There was a few, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, you can get really crazy and look at like some of the overseas stuff too. India and there's some wild stuff out there as far as Exorcist ripoffs go.
Yeah, but
there's a documentary, I think, on the Beyond the Door. I think they came out with a release not too long ago, and it's got like a documentary of all the Exorcist ripoffs. That's one to watch.
Yeah, Abby.
Abby, that's another one. Yeah,
Abby's a good one. There's
the Night Child. Would that be one?
Yeah, there's some that. It's hard because there's a lot. I mean, we've got Exorcist ripoffs now in the theater.
Yeah,
it's something that they just continually try and rip off. So, God, there's a lot. I think almost at this point, it's kind of ruined the possession film, at least the possession film, from the Catholic perspective, because it's like it's just too close. You can't outdo it.
Yeah, been done to death. It's exhausting. Yeah. It's exhausting
exactly.
at this point. Yeah. There's got to be a new creative way to do something.
Yeah.
Similar.
It's a subgenre, like you say. It's never ever gone away. Like slashers, I suppose, is another one, but to whatever degree of popularity they are, they never seem to go away. And I don't know. I think we're sick of them really to be possession films at the moment.
We got Jackson Jackie says, "What did I miss? Everything."
You did miss an interesting clip on the House of Exorcism. If you want to go back,
check out the clips. Check out the first hour, almost hour and a half. So, but yeah, man, glad everybody's here, man. Hit the like button, sub up. Dan channel Flesh Wound Features. We're also on the Dead End Drive-In with Dan that we do on Visit by Voices Network. So check that out.
Yes.
I appreciate everybody in the chat, man.
Yep, go subscribe and all that.
Yeah, for sure. But I guess we'll get into Shock. So do y'all want me to play the clip? I'll go ahead and play the clip that Darren requested. So I'm not getting blamed for this one. So Darren specifically requested this clip. So here we go.
Did you write this, Marco?
What is it? I didn't write it.
Don't you lie to me now.
I'm not lying.
Yes, you are. That's your handwriting. You can't deny it. Marco, why did you do it?
I didn't write it. I promise you. Why don't you believe me? I didn't write it. I didn't.
You can hear the actual thud. And I mean, anyone who watches this film, that kid is the most annoyingest little shit I've ever seen on camera.
I get the Babadook vibe.
Man.
Oh, yeah. She should have hit him again. She should have.
Yeah. He's just so annoying.
Yeah.
But this is one I was kind of excited to go back to because I've only seen it once on DVD before. And I've obviously got The Arrow, which everyone probably got at the moment. And it's like watching a different film, and I've completely spiraled 180, and I love this film now. It's probably my favorite out of the three, which I might surprise you in saying.
Well, that's kind of crazy to say, but that's your opinion. I won't hold it against you. Yeah. But it's kind of crazy that Darren, for several years now, he's told me he hates this film and all.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, so here's the arrow. That's the original artwork, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Spelled wrongly as well.
Not the Italian. The Italian has the kid's face in the background a little bit. But here's I like that new commission art that Arrow did too, though. So that one right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
pretty
cool,
damn killer. You could get these for 10 at one time from Arrow. So $10.
Same, well, I think about this for £9, like with the slip and everything. Yeah.
But yeah, man, I got a synopsis, so I'll go ahead and start us off if y'all want, man. So, of course, directed by Mario Bava, screenplay by Lam Bava, Franco Barbareri, Paolo Briganti, and Dardano Sacchetti, or Sacchetti, whichever you prefer. So Dora has a new man and returns to her old home where she lived with her abusive, heroin and addicted, now deceased husband, who apparently committed suicide. But her young 7-year-old son, Marco, is acting strange. Is Dora losing her mind, or is Carlo reaching out from beyond the grave?
I mean, like, the writing to this is superb. I'll go through the cast quickly. You've got Dario Nicolodi. She plays Dora Baldini.
Wait a minute, I don't know who that is. What's she playing? Like almost Dora. Every Argento film.
Yeah. I think this is her best actual.
Yeah,
this is her best role for me. I mean, she does the well-known Scream a few times as well, which is great.
Oh yeah.
You've got John Steiner. He's well known. He plays Bruno, a kind of second husband. And he was in Body Count, Waves of Lust. He was obviously like a voice dubber I was reading as well on Let Sleeping Corpses Lie. He dubbed Ray Lovelock's voice.
Do you think that him and Dario Nicolodi got it on when they did Salon Kitty with Tinto Brad?
I was going to say he's a vet of Salon Kitty. He did a lot of Nazi exploitation movies. He was in Deported Women of the SS and but also, of course, Tenebrae.
Tenebrae is a big one for me.
Yeah. Caligula.
He was in Lucio Fulci's White Fang.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the ones that a lot of people haven't seen. But
Diodato obviously liked him as well because he was in Cut and Run as well as Body Count. He's in a really good giallo. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, called Plot of Fear.
Yeah,
that's one that we need to cover at some point.
Yeah, we do.
It's pretty tragic because he didn't die of old age. He died in a car accident just a couple years ago, I think.
Yeah. So I should have mentioned that Dario Nicolodi died in 2020. And he died in 2022. So R.I.P. to both of them.
Yes.
But he must have had a long life because he was kind of old in this, isn't he? Really, if you think about it. You've got Ivan Razumov. He plays Dr. Aldo. Again, another great actor. He was also in Body Count, Eaten Alive.
He's in
you could just go on, man. All the language and stuff he was in as well.
He was in
Strange Revice of Chris Ward.
Yeah,
he was in a spaghetti western with Thomas Million and Orson Welles called Blood and Guns.
Oh, I've not heard that one. Yeah.
I need to see that shit too. Orson Welles, Thomas Million, what the hell's going on? What have I been doing with my life?
I mean, there's so many Thomas Millian films I need to see. Right, we need to cover that box set. Do the rest of that box set at one point as well. The crime films,
for sure.
But what I like about this as well, there's not too many characters. So, and a lot of people say it's got a TV feel. But I think that works in favor of the film for me. Because you've really only got 4 or 5 characters, if that, or 3 main characters. And I don't know about you as well, but the whole opening, I got the vibe of the Amityville horror that straight away come to my mind. And that was a few years after this as well. There's like Bava was like really well known for like starting trends, man.
I get strong vibes of Whipping the Body on this one too.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and you could even say that whole trope that's in so many Italian horror films about something to do with a brick wall is all I'll say. So,
well, that's right. So, without giving too much away,
but this is ambiguous too. So,
what came first? Did this come before The Psychic? Because obviously, that's all I'm going to say. Yeah, it's the same year, but do you know which one came first? I'm not sure.
I don't think that neither one could have borrowed, seeing that.
They were close.
They were really, in production maybe at the same time.
But that's an old, Edgar Allan Poe, or is it Edgar Allan Poe? The trope,
the black cat,
with the wall trope,
Yeah.
It's the thing about this movie is I think it gets overlooked because a lot of people maybe have seen it and don't really associate it with Mario Bava. It does lack that just his rich use of color of his other films, a distinctly different look. But Bava didn't do the cinematography on this, and it's debatable depending who you talk to. But Lamberto Bava did at least 25% of the movie. Apparently,
it's funny you say that because Ivan Razumov
only worked with them.
Adamantly said that Lamberto Bava did this film. He's the one that directed it because Mario was not that interested. He looked at this like another Exorcist ripoff.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard the story as well that Mario kind of did half of it, and like feigned being ill. Like just so he realized Lamberto could cover it, and he kind of died happy knowing the fact that Lamberto could make a good film.
But Razumov like adamantly said, "Man, no, Lamberto did it. He directed it. He said Mario would be off on other projects, doing other things. He was ill."
You can see some of Mario's stuff in it, though. Even though
the way things are framed, lighting. Some of the lighting, though, in some of the scenes is not Mario. You can tell.
I think that's maybe budget reasons as well. But when you're on about starting trends as well, because I get the vibe from House by the Cemetery with Bob with the kid, Marco, even The Shining to some degree. I would not be surprised if Kubrick had maybe seen this. In some,
maybe I don't know.
It's possible. I wouldn't say 100%, but I'd say it's possible.
You can also feel the Dario Argento influence on this one quite a bit.
Yeah.
The Alibra score is very, very similar to Goblin. And of course, Daria Nicolodi, who was
a couple guys from Goblin.
So it sounds very close. And Daria Nicolodi, of course, at the time was going through a split with Dario, and she kind of had a nervous breakdown before this movie, so she was like down to like 86 pounds or something.
She is
from what I'm saying.
Tiny in this one,
very tiny. It shows in the nude scene that she does in the shower,
and the scene where she's waking up in the sweat, where you can kind of like, I don't know, her chest look. Her
chest looks bony, like you say. It doesn't look like particularly
almost
healthy.
a skeleton damn near.
It kind of works. I mean, considering the kid putting her through the motions in this movie, but I've always enjoyed it. I mean, it's Bava's last theatrical release, not counting the TV movie, but I don't think it necessarily matters. It's just you got to go into this one judging it as its own thing. I think if you try and compare it to Lisa and the Devil, or then it kind of fails because it's
I wouldn't put it up against his filmography for me.
The ones I would compare it to, though, would be The Perfume of the Lady in Black and Footprints. I think it's very much. I don't know how much you want to give away with this one, but the storyline I found is superb. Well, it's all there's not much ambiguous stuff really. I know some of the incidents is through the film, but in terms of storyline,
it leaves you guessing though. So, like what I mean by the ambiguous stuff, like with the kid. So you don't know, is things happening to the kid? Is Dora hallucinating? Just all this shit, and none of this crazy shit's happening, because there's weird things that happen that are unexplainable. You know what I'm saying? Also, I mean, it's just I don't know, man. I think that there is some ambiguity to this one for sure.
I think for me though, it kind of ties it up at the end. Like the conclusion I come to is unmistakable in that final shot. But
what about,
can see,
like the thing with there's things with the kid that the kid's doing, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That almost is like tied to like black magic in a way in some of the scenes. Like there's a scene with a swing and shit.
Right. Yeah, supernatural, you mean, yeah?
Right. Like there's some strange things, man. And him talking this, like what the hell's going on? Like but
I think it's jarring seeing Mario Bava do something that is more modern than his previous stuff in terms of the setting and everything. I mean, by 1977, Gothic horror was kind of just completely dead, or as close to completely dead as can be, and creaky castles were making way for more psychological horror. Rosemary's Baby changed a lot, and but I think it's a damn good little movie. It's not something that is. It's not something that's going to blow your mind. Maybe it works better comparing it to Lamberto's stuff than Mario.
I've noticed though, I like it more on more watch. I've seen it probably 4 times now.
Yeah,
and each watch got better every time. So
the best part about it for me is Daria, because I mean, she does. She's a fantastic actress, and she really never got her due for depending who you talk to, really being the main writer behind Suspiria,
right?
And she was promised.
She didn't even get co-writers credit, right?
No, she didn't really get anything, and she was promised the Jessica Harper role. So, Suspiria around same time, and the breakup and everything, being down to 84 pounds. I think it's an A+ performance in a B+ movie.
Suspiria was actually a grandmother's story as well, about the witches.
Yep.
And I know even right up until she died, she was so pissed at Daryl for not letting her. We're going to come into that next week anyway.
Yeah, we're doing. Next week we're covering the Three Mothers.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. But I got to mention some of the scenes in this film. There's some amazing jump scenes that, like, there's one even rivals like The Exorcist 3. So you've got the one where the kid is running towards his mother.
Yeah.
And then the boy changes into the father. But that was all done in one shot. There's no camera trickery or anything.
Yeah.
That's insane, man. I love that scene. That's definitely Mario's directed that scene, I would imagine.
Right. I put it in the intro. It's at the very end of the intro on this episode.
I don't know how they would have done it, but I still, you know what I mean?
Let me catch that right. So, Jackson Jack says, "Damn, y'all started late tonight." Well, we kind of just go as we go. We just depending on who's coming on and scheduling everything. Indy Phantom says the hat man in the house.
Hey, Indy, how's it going?
Yeah.
There's a name I haven't heard of for a while. The old DEADPIT guy, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Indy's on Flesh. Well, not on, but he's in our Flesh Wound Features chat all the time. So he's still around.
Yeah. Russell says, great stream and films, Dirk, Matt, guest, and chat. Yeah.
Thank you. Just one thing I wanted to say about this, there is a book out there that this is adapted from to a degree called The Shadow Guest by Hilary Waugh. She's credited, if you it's WAUGH. UGH is how you spell the last name. But the Shadow Guest, if you're a reader and want to kind of check out some of the source material for this movie.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Do you actually think with Ivan Razumov being the Doctor, do you think he's kind of wasted in that role? Because it's like
That's
a nondescript role for him, isn't it?
Kind of weird role for him. I'd like to see him play that role.
Well, yeah, I was expecting something more sinister behind it.
Well,
but it doesn't go there at all.
It's probably just get in where you fit in, you know. And he was like, "Sure, I'll take it," you know.
What about the scene where the boy nicks his mother's panties as well? That comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much.
That's what I'm saying.
Shit.
Like, there's things like points of the film where you're questioning, like, is what's happening really happening, or you know what I mean? That's what I mean by the ambiguous.
Yeah. You
definitely
don't know what's
there's
real
something,
and what's not. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil nothing, but it's, to me, I don't think there's a clear answer for me at the end of the film, you know? Not all the way.
I can see where you're coming from. For me, I kind of like got to a conclusion. I won't say what it is.
Yeah.
But in talking to jump scenes as well, when the shutter comes down, just misses her, man, there's so much good stuff in there. So I was surprised, man, this time round. Right. And yeah, it hasn't got the colors and hasn't got all that, you know, production value of like earlier Bava work. But I don't know, there's something about these type of, you know, late 70s Italian horror I really dig. And I know that's out of the main like golden period. But even up until the 90s, I still like some of the giallos made then as well. So but this is creepy, this film. Apart from that annoying Marco, which I could fucking strangle.
Great score.
That's the only bad thing I would say. Yeah.
And a great score too, man, to set the tone and the mood.
It's an amazing score. Like you say, very Goblin-esque. I think it was the three members of Goblin.
Radhammer says, I have that original poster on the Blu-ray, the one with the girl holding the knife in the fence. Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Russell says, reminded me of Pieces with the Mother. Okay. Ultraviolet Hippie UVA cheer. I've only seen a few of Mario Bava films, but Shock is probably my favorite out of the ones that I've seen, even though it's kind of a father-son project between Mario and Lam Bava.
Hey, what's up, man? And I would have argued with you a couple of weeks ago about that, but now I'm like all for this film. It is weird, man, with me. I am weird.
It's good, but to me, it's like I don't know. There's so many great ones though. Let's see.
Oh, I was going to mention as well. There's another scene where they make a use of a drawing, a child's drawing.
Yeah,
that has to be influenced by Deep Red. There's no mistake in that. So, like Dan said earlier, with the Dario Argento nods. Yeah, that's what I got from that. Sorry, Dick, if I cut you off.
No, you're good. Jackson Jack says, "What was his name? Dario Nickelodeon." Let's see. Gents, it's a pleasure. McConaughey Kong, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
Great stream, guys. I will have to duck out soon for my YouTube comment live stream. If you guys like astronomy around 8, tune in to at Astro Attic. Cool.
Cheers, man. Thanks for popping in.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you. Radhammer, it's a lousy movie. I'm not sure which movie he's talking about.
Is he talking about? He might be talking about Shock.
Jackson says that turns me off of the movie. I don't want to see people in poor health for real.
Well, she got healthy again, but yeah, she was at a low point in her life, but said yes to the movie without even reading the script because it was Mario Bava. Probably helped her get over some things because, you know, again, Bava was considered a very important filmmaker in Italy, not just a genre filmmaker. So it's a big deal for her.
You know what I noticed as well in watching her performance in this? I noticed the mannerisms of Asia exactly the same as her mother. I was like gobsmacked. Like, so you can tell, like, just the way the mannerisms between the two of them. Man, I was like shocked.
So that's one thing I was going to mention though. Like, if I hadn't said it yet, Mario Bava wasn't just, he was a genre creator, you know, like
Yeah.
I mean, so many different genres. But Russell says Dr. Five's films, Vincent Price, I loved as a teen. Yeah, we covered some Dr. Fives last year.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Daria Nicolodi's performance in Shock is one of, if not her best performance in any horror film that she's done.
By far, I wouldn't even say it's close. By far, this is so underrated. Her performance, like, Oscar worthy. I think
this is like her only lead role, right? Besides Deep Red. I mean, she's not really the lead in Deep Red either.
Certainly the one she's most involved in as a lead character.
Yeah,
she doesn't have a massive filmography, really.
No,
so
it's mostly Argento. Most of everything she's done is Argento.
Yeah.
Can you remember a bad performance by her at all?
I don't
know. She was always great. She's a really sweet lady. She's one I got to meet, and
awesome.
Nice.
Really, really cool. Dario actually is friendly. You don't exactly have like much of a convo. He's a little more quiet, but she was very, very nice to her fans from what I saw. So was Aja.
Okay. Did you see them two together then, or all just in separate conventions? Was there?
Together and separate.
Oh man, that would have been. Yeah. Oh, I'm so jealous now, man.
Yeah. Aja hasn't done anything in a while, but
has she done probably since all that scandal come out? I would imagine she's laying low. I know she did Dark Glasses, but I can't.
Yeah, she's active on social media again, I believe.
Okay.
But yeah, no. After the Me Too thing, she kind of was a little bit quiet for a while, but she's working. I mean, she's still doing her thing.
I love Aja Argento.
We got Chris C in here. He says, "Evening, everyone."
Hey, what's up, Chris?
He says Nickelodeon's best performance to me is phenomenal. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
She's played down. She's like a played down character in that. I think Dario was trying to make her look as ugly as possible in that film.
he was sticking it to her in those films. Let's see, Kill Baby Kill. That girl was actually a boy. Yeah. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Let's see. Have you guys seen Mr. Sardonicus? Purple Butterfly 2008. I don't think I've ever seen Purple Butterfly 2008.
No.
Mr. Sardonicus. Yeah, that's William Castle. Good movie.
Okay. No, I haven't seen that. No.
Yeah.
William Castle.
I used a straightening iron on my butt hair. Okay, King of Sanity. That's good to know, man.
There you go.
Let's see. Good night, Dirk. Thanks for letting me into your home. Well, appreciate y'all for letting me into y'all's home.
Yeah.
But, because we're in the EuroCrypt and we can't escape the EuroCrypt.
Top man, Russell. Top man.
All on that airplane.
But yeah, man. Anything else y'all want to mention about Shock? Or anything else that you want to mention?
I was going to say something. So this film was written a long time before it came out.
Right.
I think it was as early as like the early 70s. So they did a screen test at one point with Mimsy Farmer was going to play the role of Daria Nicolodi.
Oh, I'm glad
she mother.
I'm glad she
No,
did.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
But it didn't. This was like early to mid 70s. So it was quite a long way before. No, that kind of dodged the bullet there, I think, But yeah, Mimsy Farmer, she's just not on the same range as Daria Nicolodi.
No.
I do like her though. I do like Mimsy a lot.
Yeah. She's okay, But anything y'all want to mention before we get out of here? Dan, what you got coming up on your channel, man?
Flesh Wound features here on YouTube. We've had content every day in October, so check it out. We'll continue through the rest of the month. We got Halloween commercial watch along on the 30th. We just finished our Tournament of the Living Dead, so if you didn't get to watch that, you can start from the beginning. It was pretty heated at the end with me fighting for a certain movie. So check that out. Yeah, we're pretty stacked. And if you're a wrestling fan, Kruger, one of my fellow hosts, he's down at IWA Deep South right now at the Carnage Cup, lighting people on fire and, you know, putting barbed wire through their skulls. So he's doing that. So yeah, we've got an insane. I think in the last month I've done like 50 to 60 shows.
Wow.
Damn.
I'm pretty tired.
Holy
but
shit.
It's all up there. Flesh Wound features. There's a lot of stuff. And you can see all three of us on the Visited by Voices network, Dead End Drive-In, where we dropped a Death Dream and Shockwaves just dropped. And I think Lauren's dropping 2 more episodes this month. So
nice.
Yeah. Check out the Dead End Drive-In, man. We had a good time. We have a good time on there. Talk about a bunch of grindhouse films. Drive-in.
Yeah.
Deep South dive in type shit. Some exploitation and goodness. But yeah,
I
man,
was going to say, check out Chris C, the slasher dude. I'm going to be doing something with him next week. We're going to be covering like 2 college slashers, Final Exam and The Initiation. So check out. That's coming, I think, maybe Friday, but we got to work out a date.
Okay. All right, man. We'll get out of here and everyone have a good one. And let me know what y'all think. I'm giving you a little teaser of it's another cut of the intro, but I'll put it on the outro, just a little teaser. It's the same song, but just let me know what it is. CK hooked it up. He's good with all that.
It's awesome. I love it.
But I'm not playing the whole thing. It's just the outro. So I didn't have enough time to make the intro with that. So anyway, y'all have a good one, and we'll see y'all. We got, by the way, on Subjective Perspective Collective, we got the Three Mothers trilogy coming up next week. That's Sunday.
The Halloween specials in a way. So yeah, keep looking for that.
Very cool.
So y'all take care, and see y'all later.
Have a good one, guys.
Later, guys.
Uh-oh. I don't know what happened.
It's okay. We're still here.
Yeah, we're still here. So, see y'all later.
You have fallen into the EuroCrypt. There is no escape from the EuroCrypt.